In our last class, we discussed what haid means. What does haid mean? We also tried to explain when did human beings begin to menstruate. Who was the first person to menstruate? We mentioned the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, which indicated that the first person to menstruate was our great-grandmother Hawa, and not from Banu Israel, as some of the ulama have mentioned. And that the commencement of menstruation mentioned in the authentic narrations regarding Bani Israel were not, they are what they refer to as Al-Awwaliyyatun Nisbiyya. A commencement that was relative, a relative commencement. It was not as if the entirety of the beginning of menstruation started with Banu Israel. And we recalled also talking about the commencement of menstruation. When does a young girl begin to menstruate? We mentioned that there is no specific age. We also mentioned when does an old woman stop menstruation. We also say there is no specific evidence. We also mentioned, and that was after we got into the text by Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni rahimahullah, we mentioned that the duration of menstruation is not also specified. For how long will a woman menstruate? A woman starts menstruation today. For how long will she continue? Only Allah knows. A woman is in purity. For how long will she continue in purity? Only Allah knows. We also said that all of that is from Bala, like the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that the women were tried with that so that they could put up patience with that circumstance, with all the inconvenience of expelling blood. Once we were in Mecca, and a brother got injured near his private areas, so blood started flowing everywhere around him. So when the blood was flowing, one of the brothers was saying they must take him to the hospital. So I started remembering, how does it go with women who see and witness this kind of a thing every month? Blood flowing from your body, because that was what it looked like. All his legs, you see blood. So as he walked, if he stepped anywhere, you found blood on it. It happens to women like this, as was in the case of Hamna bint Jahash, the sister of Zainab bint Jahash. She came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and complained about her menstrual blood, what women call today heavy flow. The Prophet said, I know the solution. She said, what was it? Say, put cotton there. She said, Prophet, this flow is more than cotton. The Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay, put a cloth, fold the cloth and tie it. She said, look, Messenger of Allah, this thing is more than a cloth. The blood is so much in the way it flows. So imagine that this woman is moving around with this, and she's feeling uncomfortable that she's not performing salah. She's feeling uncomfortable that she's not fasting. She's feeling uncomfortable that the husband cannot have access to her. All these are major ibadat for women. So when menstruation comes, they have to be patient and follow the rulings of menstruation. So what is a bala'u for them, a trial for them, will be a means of reaping rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that implies that it is necessary for them to know the rulings regarding the circumstance, so that, yes, it means of trial for them, but they will add sugar to lemon. They say if somebody gives you lemon, add sugar to it. It will become a juice. Somebody says take lemon. Lemon is ordinarily bitter. So what do you add to lemon? Sugar. So you can enjoy it. So you'll be asking, was that the lemon I gave to you? Say yes, thank you. You'll be drinking it. So in the circumstance of Bala, when the stricto sensu follow the worship that Allah has instituted for them, then the Bala becomes Bala and Hasan, a means of getting goodness from the trial. So it's important that women understand these rules. Most of these were what we mentioned in our last class. So we go back to our text where the Imam says, rahimahullah, that Lam Ya'ti, he says, Babul Hayd, the chapter or section regarding the matters of menstruation. Lam Ya'ti fi taqdiri aqallihi wa aktharihi ma taqumu bihi al-hujjah. Say, ma taqumu bihi al-hujjah lam ya'ti fi taqdiri aqallihi wa aktharihi. There is nothing that can be taken as proof that has been reported regarding aqallihi, the minimum time a woman can menstruate. Is it 3 days? Is it 2 days? Is it 5 days? What is the minimum? There is no dalil. It says also wa aktharihi. Likewise, the most time. What is the maximum menstruation a woman can have? Is it 10 days? 15 days is reported. We'll come back to it. There is 15 days. There are 2 days. One of the ulama mentioned one in the morning, one in the evening. So it means within 24 hours she's menstruating and getting into purity. So likewise, wa aktharihi, the most of it, the upper limit and the lower limit does not exist. So if she menstruates for 2 days, she's sure that this is menstruation, that is menstruation. If she menstruates for 5 days, she's sure that this is menstruation, this is menstruation. And likewise, she can be pure for 20 days, she can be pure for 25 days, 29 days. There's no maximum. So the Imam says, Lam ya'ati fi taqdiri aqallihi wa aktharihi. The estimation of the minimum range menstruation can be wa aktharihi. The estimation of the maximum it can be lam ya'ti, like he says, ma taqumu bihi al-hujjatu. There is nothing that can stand as evidence for any of those. He says wa kadhalika at-tuhur. Likewise, purity. There's nothing to say she must be pure for 15 or 20. For as long as Allah determines that she's pure, she's pure. For as much as Allah determines that menstruation comes. I hope that women will take note of these issues. Then he went on to say, rahimahullah, فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا. فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا. فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ. So those women who have al-'adatul mutaqarrira, balanced and continuous way, their own course, the way it comes is mutaqarrira. It's established. Theirs is 2 days. First month of the year, 2 days. Second month of the year, 2 days. Third month of the year, 2 days. Fourth month of the year, 2 days. At the end of the second day, menstruation will end. This kind of an ada is referred to what? Al-adatu al-mutaqarrira. A habit, a custom that is repetitive. It's continuous. It's steady. Established. Mutaqarrira. Istaqarrat. It's established with her. Ta'amalu alayha. That is what she will be acting upon. Meaning that within the 28 days of the month that is left, she will be performing salah. She will be performing fasting. She will observe fasting. Her husband will have access to her. If she's in her, she will make tawaf. These are the 4 things that differentiate, we'll come back to them, that differentiates a woman that is menstruating from a woman that is not menstruating. That is, these are the only things that the woman is not allowed to do when she's menstruating. based on the correct positions amongst ulama. We will discuss them one after the other. 4 things. 1, salah. 2, fasting, so 3, tawaf. Number 4 is what? Correlation, marital intercourse with her husband. These are the only 4 things a woman cannot do when she's menstruating. So he says, rahimahullah, فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا. A woman or those women who have al-'adatul mutaqarrira, the custom that is continuous for them, that is established with them, a regular habit regarding this matter, ta'amalu alayha, she will depend and act based on that regularity. She's regular every month, 6 months, 8 months, like that. She's regular. She will act upon that regularity. This point is based on the hadith of Aisha radiyallahu anha in Sahih al-Bukhari and in other books of hadith, also in Sahih Muslim and Kutub al-Sunnah, widely reported. In it says that قالت فاطمة بنت أبي حبيش لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh said to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In some report you will see that she was asking Salam in Sunan Abi Dawud. In some report you see that she was asking Aisha radiyallahu anha. And in some report you see that she herself was asking the Prophet Muhammad. All of them are correct. She would ask Aisha, she would ask Salama, and then she also asked the Prophet himself sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are all correct. But this riwayah in Bukhari was related by Aisha. She herself said, I asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This hadith is very widely reported in the books of Sunnah in different forms. One of the ulama said this hadith and 2 others, they are the hujjaj on the issues of menstruation. All the masail of menstruation, all the issues of menstruation are inside these 2 or 3 narrations. So she said, radiyallahu anha, Aisha radiyallahu anha said, قالت فاطمة بنت أبي حبيش لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. This lady, this woman, Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh, she said to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulallah, inni la athuru fa'ada'u as-salah. Inni la athuru fa'ada'u as-salah. O Messenger of Allah, I'm a woman, la athur, I will not become pure. In some riwayat it says, inni mra'atun ustahat, I'm a woman that menstruates, blood is just coming off me. Blood is just flowing. It has come with a lot of alfaz. She says, Inni la athuru fa'ada'u as-salah. I will not become pure, that is, both menstruation and non-menstruation. Every time I'm having blood flow. Afa'ada'u as-salah. Should I still leave salah? Should I not pray? I should leave out salah. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Then the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam says, إنما ذلك عرق. What you have seen is عرق, a vein. That is, a vein is the one that is releasing that blood. It's like saying it's an injury you have inside you. It's an illness you have. Alayhi salatu wasalam. وَلَيْسَ بِالْحَيْضَةِ. And that is not haid. This is evidence that istihada, damul istihada, is different from damul haid. Please take this point. Damul istihada is different from damul haid. Al-Imām Shafi'i and others, they say there is ijma' of the ummah on it, that damul istihada is not najasa. And there is ijma' also that damul haid is what? Najasa. So this is one of the ahadith that shows that they are both different and they will be handled differently. The problem is, how do you know where to start and how to do what? When do you consider it istihada? When do you consider it as haid? How do you know what to do and in what circumstances? So the messenger told her that what has happened to you is not istihada. It is what? Haid. فَإِذَا أَقْبَلَتِ الْحَيْضَةُ. when the haid comes. Ulama say, how does haid come? Haid comes when you see blood. When a woman sees the blood, the haid has come. When she sees the blood, the haid has come. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, فَإِذَا أَقْبَلَتِ الْحَيْضَةُ فَاتْرُكِ الصَّلَاةِ. In that circumstance, you must abandon salah. This is one evidence that one of the things women must do when there is haid with them, is that they must not perform salah. فَإِذَا أَقْبَلَتِ الْحَيْضَةُ. When the haid comes forward, the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, فَاتْرُكِ الصَّلَاةِ فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ عَنْكِ قَدْرُهَا. فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ عَنْكِ قَدْرُهَا. At the time that the estimation, when the estimation finishes, if you estimate, at the beginning he says, alayhi salatu wasalam, when the haid comes, stop salah. There's a fiqh here. This means that she can recognize the beginning of the haid, because she wasn't bleeding and then bleeding starts. So when it starts, that is the commencement of the haid. Although women can also bleed when they don't have menstruation. So that's why we will come back to two issues today, inshallah. The first of them, let me say that. The first of them is what ulama refer to as what? At-Tamyiz. The ability of the woman to be able to distinguish that menstrual blood and identify it. Ulama refer to it as what? At-Tamyiz. There's the other thing they refer to as Al-Adatu, where Tamyiz is difficult. Sometimes the blood will start in a manner and then it will change. It may still remain as a menstrual blood. So if the woman has an ada, regular practice of 6 days of menstruation, such that after the first 3 days, the blood will change. It will not be like the color like before. It will start becoming reddish. Before it will start dark, thick. It will start becoming reddish and less thick, going towards its end. So in that circumstance, this may continue for 2-3 days. So if her regular practice was 6 days, it means that by the time she's on the 7th day, she's finding it difficult to differentiate between Damul Haid and Damul Istihaba. 8 days, the blood is still coming. She will definitely find it difficult to differentiate. In this case, Ta'tabirul Ada. She will give itibar to the Ada. My Ada is how many days? 6 days. So after 6 days, what will she start doing? She start treating the blood as istihab. So the first one is at-tamyiz. A woman is able to differentiate. This is my blood when it's coming. When it is going, it is like this. She has a regular practice, 6 days. So she can differentiate it. These two things come into themselves. She can differentiate it. She will be depending on tamyiz. In that case, if she's able to make tamyiz, she can even menstruate for 10 days, even if her ada is 6 days. If she has 6 days of ada, and she has ability to make tamyiz, that is, differentiate and identify the menstrual blood. The menstrual blood may still be coming out for 7 days, for 8 days, for 9 days. As long as she can identify it and say this is Damul Haid, she will continue with the rulings of Damul Haid. But in the case that she cannot recognize, oh, this is Damul Haid, this is not Damul Haid, in that case she will base her dependence on what? On al-ada, on her regular practice, on her habits. Those are two solutions. Ulama say there is a third position. The third position is the combination of the two. Both tamyiz and what? Al-ada. Her ada is 6 days. And for those 6 days, if it changes to istihada, she will recognize that it has changed to istihada. So she has regular ada, and then she is able to make a tamyiz, a combination of the two. There is yet a fourth one. From beginning to the end, no difference. No dark. Her own blood is not dark, it's not smelling, it's not sticky. It's not sticky, it's not dark, it's not smelling. It's like normal blood, you see. Women have that too. So ulama say, how will this woman in the fourth category, how will she understand what to do? When will she be in haid? When will she be outside haid? I hope that we'll come back to this. But I want us to understand these concepts. The meaning of at-tamyiz, the meaning of al-ada, the meaning of combining tamyiz and what? Al-ada. The meaning of when you cannot make tamyiz and when you cannot make ada. So where are you? So but let's have these two concepts in our mind. What is tamyiz? Tamyiz is when a woman is able to differentiate her and identify her menstrual blood. That one is referred to as what? Tamyiz. Al-ada is that she has a regular practice, 6 days, no wahala. At the 7th day, yes, I can differentiate, but my ada doesn't go beyond 6 days. So if any time during the year she's been having ada 6-7 months for years, then 1 month for 9 days something is happening. It means from the 6th day she would have stopped haid. She would have stopped employing the rulings of haid. What will she be employing? Ada. My ada is 6 days, so she will stop using ada. Subsequently, she will consider the blood as damul istihab. I hope that these points are clear, and I hope the women understand this point. It comes a lot. I'm still seeing red blood. My normal ada is 5 days. At the 7th day, she's still seeing red blood. She does not know whether that blood is menstrual blood or damul istihab. This kind of a woman will refer to her normal ada. So by the end of the number of days, if her regular practice was 4 days or 5 days, it means whatever she sees after the 6th day is what? Istihab. I hope this point is clear. This is what Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni rahimahullah is saying. He says, فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا. For the person who has a regular ada, تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا. She will depend on ada. She will depend on that regular practice. So what we are trying to do is that, what is the evidence that the woman, that kind of a woman, will depend on regular practice? The evidence that she will depend on that regular practice, al-adatu, is this hadith of Aisha that we are referring to. We will never be tired of going front and backwards on this subject. So it happens every time, and questions never end on them until we feel that we can get them, inshallah, and the women can better understand them, inshallah. So the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam told Bintu Abi Hubaysh Fatima, the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam said to her that فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ أَنْكِ قَدْرُهَا, when your normal estimation goes away, فَاغْسِلِي أَنْكِ الدَّمِ أو فَاغْسِلِي أَنْكِ الدَّمَ وَصَلِّي. When your regulation, your stipulated time, when it finishes, فَاغْسِلِي أَنْكِ الدَّمِ, wash off the blood from yourself, and then do what? وَصَلِّي, and then perform a salah. Hold this point. It means one of the ways of handling damul haid is that ordinary washing. Just wash and perform wudu for salah. A woman in haid, her ada, like the Prophet says, alayhi salatu salam, فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ عَنْكِ قَدْرُهَا, the qadr, that is your ada, your normal time, 4 days. After your 4 days, if 4 days is your normal time, or 6 days, let's use 6 days. After your 6th day, if your regular practice, if your ada is 6 days, after the 6th day, and then you can't differentiate whether this is damul haid or what, from after the 6 days, you are going to employ the rulings on ada. Oh, my ada is 6 days. This one is another blood altogether. So the messenger told this woman that after your calculation, what should she do? Fagsili anki dama. Wash the blood off yourself, wasalli, and then begin to perform a salah. So this is evidence that the Prophet told her to do what? To give consideration to her regular practice, her ada. Al-Imām Ibn Rajab bin Al-Hanbali rahimahullah, in his Sharh of Sahih Bukhari, he called Fathul Bari, he says, wal azhar wallahu alam, the most apparent thing, and Allah alone knows best, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم is that the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما ردها إلى العادة. The Prophet only referred her to what? Her ada. What is her ada? Her regular practice. So that was why he says فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ أَنْكِ قَدْرُهَا. When that estimation, your normal time goes, it says فَغْسِلِي أَنْكِ الدَّمَ. Wash the blood off yourself, وَصَلِّي, and then perform salah. This is evidence that ذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا. Because the Prophet says فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ أَنْكِ قَدْرُهَا فَغْسِلِي أَنْكِ الدَّمَ وَصَلِّي. That hadith, this lafz that I read is from Sahih al-Bukhari. So he says إِنَّمَا رَدَّهَا إِلَى الْعَادَةِ. Ibn Rajab said rahimahullah that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam referred the woman to what? Al-Ada. لِقَوْلِهِ, because of his saying that فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ عَنْكِ قَدْرُهَا, when your normal time that you calculate, when it finishes, because of this statement, we know that the Prophet is referring to her to what? Her Ada. So we know what is Ada, cool? But there is a point here too, in this hadith, that the ulama have mentioned regarding this woman. Her case is really, the ulama are widely differed on some of the alfaz of this hadith. This hadith, I can say, is problematic on this subject. If you check some of the alfaz, some of the wordings of this hadith, sometimes people will be confused. What are they saying? But this is the correct thing, inshallah. If we look at this hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, فَإِذَا أَقْبَلَتِ الْحَيْدَ. When the haid comes, how does she know that the haid has come? How will she know that the haid has started? I'm asking us. The Prophet, when the haid comes, so she should leave the salah. Okay, the question is, how does she know that the haid has come? Tamyiz. So ulama say it means she's able at the beginning to make tamyiz, but at the end of the haid she's not able to make a tamyiz. That she's amongst those combining the two. At the beginning she can differentiate the menstrual blood, but later on she can't differentiate again. Am I still in menstruation or I have gone out of menstruation? In that case, what will she rely on? Ada. It also means that she had had a time that she was having regular menstruation without istihada. In some of the riwayat of this hadith, they said that she'd been having this istihada for 3 years. Okay, before the 3 years, it means she had Ada. That Ada, the Prophet referred her to it at the end of the hadith. But at the beginning of the hadith, the Prophet referred her to what? At-Tamyiz. So it means in her own case, when her menstruation starts, she's able to differentiate that this is a menstruation. The problem she has is when it wants to end, she does not know the way the blood will behave towards the end of menstruation. It will overlap into the way the blood will behave after menstruation. So the Prophet says, make use of your taqdeer, the estimation you were making before, your ada, depend on it. So if her ada was 6 days, it means after 6 days she will treat herself with the condition of istihada. I hope that this point is clear. We will still come back to it. Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni says, rahimahullah, فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا. And he says, rahimahullah, on these there are a lot of reports that there are women who had adatun mutaqarrira. There is no benefit repeating them. In the last class we mentioned a woman who in Ramadan, throughout, for 20 years, her ada was 2 days. Her own ada, 2 days. Not more, not less. After 2 days, she's pure. This is adatun mutaqarrira. So it is not only a hadith that shows this. Al-Waqi also shows it. Reality shows that it happens like that. Do we get this point? It's not only the text that proves that there could be adatun mutaqarrira. Reality also indicates over the years that yes, there are women who have regular flow. But the issue is, when they have regular, in case something happens, what do? Ta'amalu alayha. She will now depend on that her regular practice. Like the woman who for 20 years, her own menstruation is for 2 days. If at the end of 4 days, the blood has not stopped, when would she have stopped menstruation? After 2 days. So the next 2 days, what will she be doing? Istihada. This she would have depended on al-adatu al-mutaqarrira. Regular, customary, regular practice that she became used to. And then he says, rahimahullah, وَغَيْرُهَا تَرْجِعُ إِلَى الْقَرَائِنِ وَغَيْرُهَا تَرْجِعُ إِلَى الْقَرَائِنِ. As for the woman who does not have a regular practice, Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni says, تَرْجِعُ إِلَى الْقَرَائِنِ. She will refer back to qara'in, indicators. How is the blood? This, that. Tamyiz. So the first one is based on the principle of what? Al-ada. Dhatul adatil mutaqarrira ta'amalu alayha. Ada. Wa ghayruha tarji'u ila al-qara'i. Other than her, what will they do? Tarji'u ila al-qara'i. They will refer to what? Al-qarina. Tamyiz. At-tamyiz. This is also based on the hadith of Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh radiyallahu anha. In one of the wordings of this hadith, this case, it says, she herself went to ask the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam about her condition. If a woman is bleeding like that, she could have even asked 100 people. Hey, this bleeding that will not make me perform salah, no fasting. And then my husband cannot have access to me. She may even ask billion people if she has access. Because for the companions, radiyallahu anhum, ibadah is so strong to them. So she's not, people are praying, Allah salah. She say, oh, menstruation. Today, menstruation. Next tomorrow, menstruation. Please, let me ask Prophet, what will I do? She asks Aisha. She asks Salama, radiyallahu anha. And others, as we would find in the books of Sunnah, many people reported this hadith. Then when they are giving her report, she may be thinking, is this what I should do? Let me go myself. It said that the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam said to her. This report occurs in Sunan Abi Dawud and Sunan Al-Nasai. He says, إِذَا كَانَ دَمُ الْحَيْضَةِ, when it is menstrual blood, فَإِنَّهُ دَمٌ أَسْوَدُ يُعْرَفُ. If it is menstrual blood, فَإِنَّهُ دَمٌ أَسْوَدُ يُعْرَفُ. Menstrual blood is black, dark in color. Yuraf. Women know it. Here, what is he referring her to? At-tamyiz. So she is gayruha. Al-an, the Prophet says what? Irji'i ila al-qara'i. Go back and check the blood. This is also contained in the first one that we read. Don't forget. We were also able to deduce it. Go. From the first hadith we read that at the beginning when her menstruation is starting, it means she's able to make what? At-tamyiz. This is further emphasizing the fact that at the beginning of her menstruation, she's able to make a tamyiz. So that was why he said alayhi salatu wasalam, إِذَا كَانَ دَمُ الْحَيْضَةِ فَإِنَّهُ دَمٌ أَسْوَدُ يُعْرَفُ. So damul hayd, the menstrual blood, he says alayhi salatu wasalam, فَإِنَّهُ دَمٌ, it's a kind of a blood, aswadu, that is dark in its color, yurafu. Women know it. With its what? Because it is what? Fakhinun ghaliz. It is ghaliz, thick. Muntinun, smelly. So that's why they say, he said yuraf. Aswadu, it is dark. Yurafu, that is, it is ghaliz. Muntinun, ghaliz, thick. Muntinun, smelly. So we would like to adjure women to go back home to be able to recognize this blood so that they can make a tamyiz. The Prophet referred her to tamyiz. So I am referring you to tamyiz too. Go back and be able to recognize it. فَإِنَّهُ دَمٌ aswadu yu'raf. It's a dark blood. Aswad yu'raf. It is ghaliz and muntin. Ghaliz, thick, and muntinun, smelly. This is at-tamyiz. So as you use it to commence menstruation, it is also possible to be able to use it to end menstruation. So the messenger says to her, alayhi salatu wasalam, says, فَإِنَّهُ دَمٌ أَسْوَدُ يُعْرَفُ فَإِذَا كَانَ ذَلِكَ. When the blood is like that, فَأَمْسِكِي عَنِ الصَّلَاةِ. Hold back from performing salah. فَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرُ. But if the blood is like other than this one, this is tamyiz now. That is when the color of the blood, وَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرُ. It's if the blood is like this. How? Damun aswadu yu'raf. So, but it says وَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرُ. But if it is other than that, at that time, it means she must be able to recognize that change. This is tamyiz. The Prophet is referring to. Alayhi salatu wasalam. It says, فَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرُ فَتَوَضَّئِي. Perform wudu. That is istihadha now. When the blood changes, you are now mustahid. You are not ha'id again. Or ha'idatun, if you like. I heard some people still say ha'idah does not exist. That statement is a very weak statement. A woman can be ha'id, she can be ha'idah. I say it again. A woman can be ha'id, she can also be what? Ha'idatun. So, Al-Imām Ibn al-Athir, he mentioned this and gave explanations. Even in Lisan al-Arab is available. That some of the A'immah of Lugha say that a woman can be ha'id and she can also be what? Ha'idat. Now, the reason I always say things like this sometimes, somebody knows it as ha'id. If he hears somebody saying ha'idat, he says, oh, makeoni, iwalo ti kyoto, hoa. فَأَمْسِكِي عَنِ الصَّلَاةِ. And then a young talibul ilm should avoid things like that. Before he says something does not exist, find out first. Even amongst the ulama, they have a qaida. They say, al-musbitu muqaddamun ala nafi. Somebody says something exists. If he is truthful with what he's saying, they say, al-musbitu, a proof that affirms the existence of a thing. Muqaddamun, it is giving preference over an-nafi. Something that rejects that, oh, it does not exist. Because the person saying that it exists, he has seen something. So Talibul Ilm, young Talibul Ilm, will say, no, it does not exist. Stop saying it does not exist. I remember once a brother was writing a book, mistakes people make in Arabic language when they speak, expressions. And one of the mistakes, he says the expression biduni does not exist. He says it is min duni. La taj'alu min duni. I say what you find in Quran and Hadith is min duni. So a brother came and told me that. I said he does not know what he's saying. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, La tastanji ahadukum biduni salasati ahjar. The Prophet Muhammad. The hadith occurs in Sahih Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad says, La tastanji ahadukum biduni. That biduni you say does not exist. The Prophet used it to alayhi salam. If you say the Prophet does not understand Arabic, we will call you a kafir. Oh no, yes. So a young Talibul Ilm does not start saying something does not exist. Be patient. Search for it first. And I know many learned people are very stingy. They will know something in a way they will not tell you. When you say they have made mistake, they will keep quiet. Yes, they will just keep quiet and they continue. You will never know that one. That's their thinking. It does not exist, Abi. You can ask this. I know it like this. Can you please explain this one to me? But don't say it does not exist. Young people do that a lot these days. I tell you this. Quickly, it does not exist. There are examples. Today, something like that occurred. This time it's not a young person, a big sheikh saying that something does not exist. I just gave him the hadith in when Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiyallahu anhu would pray with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then he will go and lead his people. Which one was his main salah and which one was his nafil? Which one was his main salah? Which one was his nafil? Tatawwu. Now, the first one is the main salah. That is what is even sensible, because he is praying that one behind the Prophet Muhammad. That is his main cause. Then when he goes there, it's nafila he's making. So somebody was arguing today, no, it can't be. May Allah bless Al-Imām Al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar. He brought one riwayah from Jabir ibn Abdullah Al-Ansari. He says, فَالْأُولَى لَهُ فَرْضٌ وَالثَّانِيَةُ لَهُ نَافِلَةٌ. Is in Fathul Bari with isnad. And he went to affirm the sihha of this isnad. Al-Imām Al-Tahawi has reported it. Al-Imām Al-Bayhaqi has reported it. And others amongst Ahlul Hadith. Al-Imām Al-Shafi'i reported it in his Musnad. So don't always say something does not exist. It does not exist. No, it does not. Because you don't know it like that. When in a nikah gathering one day, a brother was saying, young brother, just a graduate from a university in Sudan. He was giving a talk. And he says, Shaykh Al-Albani mentioned this issue in his book, Adab Zafaf. Az-Zafaf. What is common is Zifaf. So he looked at me and started laughing. I frowned. I turned my face away. Because you don't know it as Zafaf, it does not mean that Zafaf does not exist. Go back to the dictionary, go and see whether it exists as Zafaf or what? Zifaf. Both of them are allowed. You can say Zafaf, you can say what? Zifaf. Even this haidah we have been saying, we can say haidah if we want. It exists like that. So be careful about saying, it doesn't exist. And there are young people too, pushing the younger people, making them think that they are doing something that is good. Knowledge is Bahrun Zakhar, a limitless ocean. Before you start ascribing ignorance to somebody, you must be very, very careful. There are many examples of things like this. Many. It happens to big and small. So before you point error that somebody is erring, look well. Look well. It happens a lot. By the time you drop the mic, somebody picks the mic, you will know boyo wali abio wali. So be careful about. Say what you know. Say, I know it like this. I know it like this. This is humility in knowledge. I know it like this. I know it like this. I know it like this. If you want to say it does not, quote somebody. Don't turn yourself to authority. Say, ulama say. If you have to mention one or two, it will give you rest of mind. Like one of our friends, Abu Zainab, Hafizahullah, Qamaruddin Bello. If you say something, you say, no, it doesn't exist. You say, don't fight me. Take it easy. You see this one that I've said? Do you know Sheikh Abu Bakr Jabir Jazairi? You say, yes. He's living in Medina. Say, yes. Okay. Go to Medina and ask him. He will just continue his discussion. He used to do that a lot. He will read from Minhaj Muslim at the time. He will explain. So if you say, no, it's not like that, you say, oh, sorry. This one that I'm saying, do you know Sheikh Abu Bakr Jabir Jazairi? You say, yes. He's the one that said it. When you meet him in Medina, ask him that question. He will continue with his talk. So say what you know. Don't attack somebody else that he doesn't know what he say. And if you have to now say that, look well before you leap. It is better to cite ulama. When you cite ulama, even if it is wrong, the blame will not come on you. It will not come to you. Say, I only cited what I knew at that time. If you want to benefit me, benefit me. And that one young person knows one thing, one big person does not know. It does not exist. It does not mean that the elder person does not know what he is saying. Al-Imām Al-Bukhari and Al-Adab Al-Mufrad. One day the Messenger alayhi salatu, this hadith also occurs in Sahih Bukhari itself. The Messenger, Abu Bakr and Siddiq, Umar, Uthman, Ali, big companions, they were seated. and Abdullah ibn Umar was there. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked a simple question: which among the trees looks like and is like a Muslim? Trees. Which tree is like a Muslim? Which tree is like a Muslim? Which tree is like? Everybody kept silent. Tree like a Muslim? Igi. Iru igi wo lo dàbí Mùsùlùmí? Igi tó dàbí Mùsùlùmí. Abu Bakr was there. Omar was there. Uthman, all the babang companions, they were there. They all kept silent. When they stood up, Ibn Umar called his father and said, Papa, it is the palm tree of Dabinu. Allah. Hey. He said, why did you not say it? That's why. Say, I was shy. The question is, what made Ibn Umar, small boy at the time, know an answer for something that the big. But does that mean that he's now learned than Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Umar and Uthman and Ali? It doesn't mean. Bone shouts between them. This one happens a lot. I've seen a lot of this. A lot. Sheikh Mumbaz in Riyadh was reading a book. He reached a place he didn't know the meaning of the word. Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Abdullah ibn Baz, Mufti Diyar Mamlakat al-Arabiya Saudiya, before he died. You know what it means? No, when you say Mufti Diyar, somebody is Mufti of, not Mufti of Nigeria or Saudi. You know what that means? He is reading something. This word. I don't know the meaning. He is asking, please, who amongst you here knows? Rahimahullah. Sheikh Bombas. There is nobody that knowledge cannot slap. Knowledge. When they asked Musa alayhi salam, Man a'lamu ahli al-ard, he said, Ana. Allah say, you? Okay, we will show you that it is not you. But you will not sit in your house to do that. You will travel, you will do like this before we teach you lesson. Musa, and ulama say Musa was correct. He is speaking based on what he knows. He didn't know anybody who is more knowledgeable than he is. Rasul, Nabi, Kalim. Nobody was knowledgeable than Musa at the time. But they asked him, who is more knowledgeable? He said, me. And then he didn't say, oh, according to my knowledge. Allahu Allah. He said, me. As if he says categorically, after me, nobody. Allah said, okay, we will show you there is somebody. Before he met Khadr, in the long story that we all know, I'm saying that there is nobody that knowledge is not superior to him. Malaika knowledge was superior to them. Yes. They were there when Allah created Adam. Does it mean that they were more knowledgeable than Adam? When Allah gave Adam the knowledge he wants to give him. So I asked, what is this Malaika? Aradahum ala al-Malaika. He presented them. Why are you Malaika? Say it. Ambi'uni bi asma'i ha'ula in kuntum sadiqin. They say, La ilma lana illa, we don't know Allah. Now you are the one that knows. Say, oh yeah, Adam, ambihum bi asma'i. Falamma amba'ahum bi asma'i. Qala, alam akul lakum inni a'lamu ghayba as-samawati. There is nobody knowledge is not superior to. So, let younger people take it easy. So he says, فَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرُ. Back to our hadith. فَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرُ. When the other blood comes, this is also invitation to what? At-Tamyiz. فَتَوَضَّئِ. Hold it on. The first way, don't forget, to handle damul istihada is what? Al-wudu. Make wudu all the time. You wash it and you make wudu. A woman is bleeding after her normal menstruation. She's bleeding. Boom, 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 boom. If she wants to perform salah, she cleans it up, wash the blood, ties herself, and then makes wudu for salah. When she cleans it up and makes wudu for salah, that time the blood too may still be coming out. She should not bother herself. Just carry on with your salah. So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, وَصَلِّي فَإِنَّمَا هُوَ عِرْقٌ. So here he says, فَتَوَضَّئِ وَصَلِّي. The other one he says, فَغْسِلْ عَنْكِ الدَّمِ. Don't forget, فَغْسِلْ عَنْكِ الدَّمِ. That is the first thing. وَتَوَضَّئِ, you combine the reports. The other one, غَسْلُ الدَّمِ, you wash the blood off the stained areas on your body. Here it says what? وَتَوَضَّئِ. Then you perform a wudu. This is the least thing a person making istihada can do, or is allowed to do. The least. What is it? She will just wash it. Wash the blood. If she's using a pad, change the pad. And then make wudu. She prays. For every salah, she's making wudu. In some riwayat, it says, وَتَوَضَّئِ لِكُلِّ salat. Make wudu for what? Every salah. Women, one way of handling istihada is to make wudu every time. Is to make wudu every time. Don't forget. But the point we wanted from this is that وَغَيْرُهَا تَرْجِعُ إِلَى اللَّهِ قَرَائِنْ. Because here the Prophet was describing the blood to her. Check the blood. If it changes, if it does this. In the first hadith, he said, estimate. In the second time, he said what? Check the blood. Ulama say they are all referring to Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh. Why? She has mixture. Sometimes she's able to differentiate. Sometimes she's not able to differentiate. So if she's able to differentiate, Ta'mal bil qarina, she will depend on the indicators. When she's not able to differentiate, tarji'u ila adatiha, she will refer to her ada, her regular practice. I hope this point is clear. Alhamdulillah. So this is what Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni says, rahimahullah. فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا وَغَيْرُهَا تَرْجِعُ إِلَى الْقَرَائِنِ. We know the proof now, ko? It says, فَدَمُ الْحَيْضِ. He says, in that case, damul hayd, the menstrual blood, yatamayyazu min ghayrihi. It is different. It takes a different shape from other kinds of blood. How is it? It is what? Damun aswadu yu'rafu. Damul hayd is what? Damun aswadu yu'rafu. Damul hayd is damun aswadu yu'rafu. So it says, يَتَمَيَّزُ مِنْ غَيْرِهِ. It takes a different approach, a different look from others. It becomes different. Damul hayd is different from other blood. That is in the case that that woman is able to make what? At-Tamyiz. I hope this point is clear. Don't forget, At-Tamyiz, Al-Ada. They are very important terms for us today. It says, فَدَمُ الْحَيْضِ يَتَمَيَّزُ مِنْ غَيْرِهِ. So damul hayd is different from other forms of the blood. It says فَتَكُونُ حَائِضًا إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ. نعم فَتَكُونُ حَائِضًا إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ. So in that case, إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ, if she sees damul hayd, she's able to make tamyiz. فَتَكُونُ حَائِضًا إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ. She will be, when her haid is on, she's seeing the blood, she is haid. When will a woman be a haid? إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ. At the time that when she sees menstrual blood, هِيَ حَائِضًا or haid. She is in menstrual blood flow condition. What does this mean? It means هي لا تصلي ولا تصوم ولا تطوف ولا تؤطى. لا تصلي, she will not perform salah, as he said in the hadith of Fatima. Fada'i salah. Go. It says fatruki salah. So don't pray when damu hayd comes. So she will not pray. The second thing a woman in hayd cannot do is what? Sawm, fasting, women shouting in the mosque, alamatu sa'a. It's alamatu sa'a. Don't forget, al-alamatu sa'atu sughra, they happen as if they are other normal things. So they will see to think, normal, it's normal now. Wati gbo masasi, ti ribiti obìnrin tin pariwo masasi ri ni. Alamatu sa'a sughra, they will be like things that are normal. So when a woman is menstruating, she cannot fast in Ramadan. And she cannot fast any other fasting for that matter. فَهِيَ لَا تُصَلِّي. She can't pray. Wala tasumu. She cannot fast. Wala tatufu. She cannot make a tawaf. Don't forget in our last hadith, the Prophet said to Aisha radiyallahu anha, غَيْرَ أَنْ لَا تَطُوفِي بِالْبَيْتِ حَتَّى تَغْتَسِلِي. You must not make tawaf until you do what? You make your ghusl. So she cannot make a tawaf, she cannot perform salah, she cannot fast, and her husband cannot come to her. La tu'ta. Her husband cannot make sexual intercourse, actual sexual intercourse with her. Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Isna'i ma'ha." Do with her kulla shay'in illa nikah. With your family, do everything except actual copulation. Ulama say between the navel and the knee, there are reports that indicate that only her female organ should be avoided. So do everything. Don't say how. This is in contradiction to the Jews. For them, when a woman is menstruating, if she touches a place like this, you must not touch the place. The Jews, Yahud, they consider her so unholy. If she touches a plate, that plate becomes unholy. It must be washed. So if she's sleeping on the bed, the husband will never sleep near her. Anything she's far away, I beg. They too, they say I beg, as if she has Ebola. Bani Israel. So Islam brought rahmah and ease. So do everything. They are still human beings, and they are poor, and they are pure. So do everything with them except actual. That's why it says فَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاءَ فِي الْمَحِيضِ. Avoid having sexual intercourse with women when they are in the condition of menstruation. So 4 things the woman cannot do. فَدَمُ الْحَيْضِ يَتَمَيَّزُ مِنْ غَيْرِهِ. The menstrual blood takes a different look from other forms of blood. فَتَكُونُ حَائِضًا إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ. So when she sees the menstrual blood, فَتَكُونُ حَائِضًا. In that case, she is what? She's in the state of menstruation. When it is menstrual blood, it is menstruation. How can she know when menstruation will end in case it does not end? How will she know? Al-Ada. How many days is your regular? If you are a regular person, this one don't change you. It's 6 days my menstruation. Today is 8th day. I'm still seeing blood. Go back to your Ada. From the 6th day, start praying, start performing salah. If you cannot differentiate. But if you can differentiate the way the blood is coming, when the menstruation was ending, the first thing that came was dryness. Everywhere became dried. After dryness, what would happen? When menstruation is ending, what will happen after dryness? She will see what ulama refer to as al-qassatul bayda, the white discharge. It indicates purity in women. Even the dryness, ulama say, how are they going to know it? They will insert a cotton, and from that they will know, I'm now dry, no blood. But sometimes women see what they refer to as what? Al-Qudra, the kafir. This Qudra is something sticky brownish. If it happens at the beginning of menstruation, for example, a woman has 6 days of menstruation. This thing happens to her on the 4th day or on the 3rd day. What will she think about? She will think that I'm still menstruating. Because she has al-adatu al-mutaqarriha. She sees that al-adatu al-mutaqarriha. Don't forget. If she's having a regular practice, follow it. Ta'amalu alayha. Ta'atamidu alayha. Ta'atabiruha. Sahibatul adati al-mutaqarrira al-i'tibaru li'adatiha. A woman who has regular practice, the concentration is, this is my regular practice. Anything above that. Except if at tamyiz, her blood, she can recognize that this is menstrual blood, and that blood now exceeds those days. Tamyiz takes precedence over what? Ada. Do we get this point? She's a regular 6 days. On the 7th day, she is still seeing dark, thick blood, that she knows that this is my menstrual blood. This is how it looks. It means on the 7th day, she will still continue in the condition of menstruation. That is, at tamyiz, during conflict, tamyiz will take precedence over what? Ada. Think about this. فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا وَغَيْرُهَا تَرْجِعُ إِلَى الْقَرَائِنِ فَذَاتُ الْعَادَةِ الْمُتَقَرِّرَةِ تَعْمَلُ عَلَيْهَا وَغَيْرُهَا تَرْجِعُ إِلَى الْقَرَائِنِ. These two things are very important. Al-Ada and what? At-Tamyiz. So he says, Rahimahullah, فَتَكُونُ حَائِضًا إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ. So at the time she's seeing Damul Hayd, she's Haid. Okay. How does istihada start? It starts from two ways. By the blood exceeding her ada. That's one way. Or she's able to make tamyiz that the blood has actually changed. A woman has 6 regular days of menstruation. And from the 4th day, the blood will change to red. In fact, for some, going to yellowish. This one continues up to 7th, 8th day. What will she think is happening to her? Istihada. Okay. A woman is having menstruation for 6 days. By the end of the 5th day, she has seen all that she sees when her menstruation is ending. Just suddenly, in the morning of the 6th day, she starts seeing blood again. Different from وَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرُ. When it is a blood different from Damul Aswad. Damun Aswadu Yu'rafu, as is in the hadith of Bintu Abi Hubaysh that we read. Is this point clear? How do we know that istihada has started? 2 ways. Either by the blood exceeding Ada, or by the blood changing in its color and its smell and its form. Just 2 ways. If you're a regular person for 6 days, at the end of 8 or 9 days, the blood is still coming, you know that you started your istihada from the 6th day. But if you are a woman that you can recognize the blood, this menstruation has finished, this is another blood altogether. It means through tamyiz, you know that you have started istihada. فَهِيَ حَائِضًا أو فَهِيَ حَائِضَةٌ إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ وَمُسْتَحَاضَةٌ. This is where we are coming. She is also in istihada إِذَا رَأَتْ غَيْرَهُ. If she sees any other blood different from damun aswadu yu'rafu, she knows that that blood, apart from aswadu yu'rafu, is what? Damul istihada. I hope that this point is clear. So he says, wa mustahabatan idha ra'at ghayrahu. She's in istihada if she finds another blood different from damun aswadu yu'rafu. Wa hiya kattahira. When she's in istihada, she's like a woman who is pure. What does that mean? Hiya tusalli, hiya tasumu, hiya tatufu, wa tu'ta. Tusalli, she will perform salah. Tasumu, she will fast. Tatufu, she can make a tawaf. Wa tu'ta, her husband can have conjugal relations with her. So he says, rahimahullah, فَتَكُونُ حَائِضًا إِذَا رَأَتْ دَمَ الْحَيْضِ وَمُسْتَحَاضَةً إِذَا رَأَتْ غَيْرَهُ وَهِيَ مَذَا كَالطَّاهِرَةِ. She's like a woman that is still in the condition of purity. And then he goes on to say, rahimahullah, we've explained all of these points. Cool? He says, وَتَغْسِلُ أَثَرَ الدَّمِ. That occurs in the first hadith of Fatima we read. وَاغْتَسِلِي أَنْكِ الدَّمَ. That hadith in Bukhari. Wherein the Prophet says she should wash the blood off herself. Now he started telling us how do we handle istihada. That's what Shawkāni is saying now, rahimahullah. He says, وَتَغْسِلُ أَثَرَ الدَّمِ. Athar, the stains of that damul istihada. Hiya tagsiluha. She will do what? She will wash it off. Like the Prophet says, waksili ad-dama anki. Or waksili anki dama. Wash the blood off yourself. That is the proof. وَتَتَوَضَّأُ لِكُلِّ صَلَاتٍ. And then, when you wash it off, you perform wudu for every salah. So the first thing for a person to do is what? In istihada, wash off the blood. If you are using a pad, change the pad. Istihada. And you know how istihada starts, Abi? If the blood exceeds your ada, or if you are able to make a tamiz. I've been repeating it deliberately. So you are in istihada. In that case, if you want to pray, how will you pray? Ghaslu athari dam. You wash off the stains of that blood. If it is a pad, you change it and put another one. And then you perform وَتَتَوَضَّئِ لِكُلِّ صَلَاتٍ. And then the woman will perform salah. Before that, what will she do? She will make wudu for every salah. In some riwayat, it says وَغْسِلِي أَوْ وَغْتَسِلِي لِكُلِّ صَلَاةٍ. It also means that she could also perform ghusl for every salah. The counting it all. A woman in istihada can handle istihada in 3 ways. After you wash it, there are 3 things you can do. The first one is wudu before every salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wudu. You change the part, you put another one, you make wudu. You go to the mosque and pray. One way of handling istihada. Another way of handling istihada, you wash it off, you make ghusl. Which ghusl are they referring to? Ghusl janaba that we know. The ghusl of ghusl. The ritual baths. And we've talked about that extensively, I think. So you make ghusl. For every salah, the ahadith are also reported. Sunan Abi Dawud, they are authentic. The third one, when this is difficult for her, when number 2 is difficult for her, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he gave Hamnatu bintu Jahash, the sister of Zainab bintu Jahash. The Prophet gave her 2 alternatives. You either wash it, make ghusl for every salah, or you combine 2 salah, Dhuhr and Asr, Maghrib and Isha. How? The Prophet explained it. All these ahadiths are in Sunan Abi Dawud. If you are, this is one way your hadith app will be useful to you. Go back from hadith 270 or 280 in Sunan Abi Dawud. Go and be reading it. You see all these ahadiths, they are up to about 300 and something. Instead of reading Facebook and WhatsApp message, that's your Android, Sunan Abi Dawud, Android. Be reading it. From hadith 270 to about 300 slightly and above. All these ahadiths are there. There are a lot of them. And a lot of aqwal regarding issues of authenticity and non-authenticity. But have it from me, most of them are authentic. Only very few you can count there with one hand, are weak. In the entirety on these matters of hayd and istihaba and nifas. So go back to it. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave Hamna bintu Jahash 2 alternatives. Alternative 1, perform ghusl after or before every salah. The second alternative, connect between 2 forms of salah. Zuhr, Asr, connect them. Maghrib, Isha, connect them. How? You delay Zuhur up to its latest time, such that when you make ghusl, you perform Zuhur. Before you finish that Zuhur, the time for Asr would have been established. In fact, as we shall read, the end time of Zuhur is the beginning of the time of Asr. So you pray Zuhur and Asr together. You rest again. When it's time for Maghrib, you delay the Maghrib up to its later times. So when you go for your ghusl again, when you make ghusl, you perform Maghrib. Before you finish that Maghrib, it will be time for Isha. So you pray Isha. These are the three ways to handle istihada. You make wudu, you make ghusl for every salah, or you do what? You make ghusl combining between two forms of salah. Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Isha. And Salah to Subhi is standing alone. You make ghusl also before Salah to Subhi. These are the ways to handle al-istihada. Unfortunately, Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni only mentioned one. Which one did he mention? وَتَتَوَضَّأُ لِكُلِّ صَلَاةٍ. So it is left for us وَتَغْتَسِلِي لِكُلِّ صَلَاةٍ or وَتَغْتَسِلِي وَتَجْمَعُ بَيْنَ صَلَاتَيْنِ. She will make ghusl and then تَجْمَعِي بَيْنَ صَلَاتَيْنِ. You combine between two salah. I think we should stop here. Because the next thing he wants to start discussing is وَالْحَائِدُ لَا تُصَلِّي وَلَا تَصُومُ وَلَا تُؤْطَى. What a ha'id cannot do. We will say that in our next class, inshallah. A woman in menstruation, we already said them anyway. What are the things that she cannot do? We will say it, inshallah, in our next class. What are those things that people only think that she cannot do them? She can do them. We will say them, inshallah. And they are much, about 9 things. Some people say a woman in menstruation cannot make adhkar. You will hear it next week, inshallah. So I say a woman in menses cannot touch Quran. Next week, inshallah. So I say a woman in menses cannot stay inside masjid. Next week, inshallah. So I say a woman in masjid cannot go to Eid. Next week, we will hear them. Bi-idhnillah. All of these are not sound. They are weak foundations. They have only 4 things. Salat, Sawm, Tawaf, and Al-Waqt. These are the things that a woman in menstruation cannot do. Only 4 things. She can do every other thing. So, inshallah, in our next class, we'll mention these 4 things again by way of repetition, inshallah. And then we'll mention those things people say that a woman doing menstruation cannot do. But Allah Sahih, she can do them. We'll mention them, inshallah, in our next class. I think it will suffice for us to stop here. So Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni says, Babul Hayd says, Lam ya'ti fi taqdiri aqallihi wa aktharihi ma taqumu bihi al-hujjatu. He says also, wa kadhalika at-tuhur. Fadhatu al-'adati al-mutaqarrira ta'amalu alayha. Wa ghayruha tarji'u ila al-qara'in. Fadamu al-hayd yatamayyazu min ghayri. فتكون حائضا إذا رأت دم الحيض ومستحاضة إذا رأت غيره وهي ماذا؟ كالطاهرة وتغسل أثر الدم وتتوضأ لكل صلاة. What did he mention? We have mentioned them, such as that هي تغتسل أيضا لكل صلاة أو أن تغتسل وتجمع بين صلاتين. May Allah make us understand better than it is said. Now, Nāsir. Okay. What will be used to cover his sins if a man copulates with his wife during menstruation? Even in a text, it is stated that he can copulate with his wife if he is in the utmost need. That is wrong. Anyway, the first question is, a man, I don't know what will happen to that man that can push him to that, even when the woman is menstruating. But it happens, especially our younger brothers now. May Allah protect us. They say, I'm loving my wife, I'm loving. It will start with shouting. How are you, my wife? I'm coming to the house. How are you looking? How you do this? He starts agitating himself unnecessarily. And the woman is not available for him. Yes, she's not available. A woman that is menstruating is not available for her husband. So don't agitate yourself unnecessarily if you don't know what that means. There are other things you can do without cohabiting with this woman from her male organ. You can do so many things. Allah has permitted you do everything except that. So don't agitate yourself unnecessarily if you know that you can't hold yourself back. So the man now goes and then he has relation, like Ramadan too. I always say, subhanallah, a man can have something to do with his wife on the afternoon of Ramadan. But didn't we see it happening in the time of the Prophet Muhammad? The man said, Ya Rasulallah, halaktu. Temitita. That's why he said, radiyallahu anhu. He's better than all of us. Yes, he's Sahabi of the Prophet Muhammad. There is no ibadah we will do today. They are better than all of us. Sahabi, they are meeting, staying, taking the message from the Prophet. The time that Quran was coming down from heaven, they were alive. It's okay for them. So this companion still cohabited with his wife. So don't think that it is not possible. Especially young brothers who just married. They won't get You are just coming in new. So now it now happens that a man cohabits with his family. What does he do? Ulama are different on it. Some say he will not do anything. They say there is no proof. If you say he must do something, what is the proof? Like Al-Imām Abu Hanifa. What's the proof that he will do something? Others who say he can do something and he must do something, they bring a hadith like Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas. So you can say, oh, why did the Hanafiya not take to that hadith? Because they rule the hadith weak. So once they rule the hadith weak, they will not depend on it. But those who rule the hadith authentic, they will do what? They will depend on it. That is one of the reasons scholars differ. So if you want to settle this difference of opinion, what is the first job you will do? You must be able to confirm, is this hadith actually authentic or not? That is why it is difficult to be a scholar if you are not a good student of the science of hadith. You will not be able to resolve matters on your own. Find out. Go back to the sources. You will not be able to do that. You will not be able to do that. In Mamlakatul Arabiya, Sheikh Muhammad Ayub just passed away. May Allah forgive him. He was amongst the leading scholars of Quran in the entirety of Saudi Arabia. Did you see him in Lajna Da'ima? Lajna Da'ima. You know Lajna Da'ima that is in Saudi Arabia, or Hay'atu Kibarul Ulama. Did you see Muhammad Ayub there? Because that is a different ball game altogether. It is different from no, that one is different. It's different. You can be the best Qari and yet when issues come to issues of fiqh, hadith, you will keep silent. Al-Imām Ahmad ibn Salih al-Misri, he wants himself to be amongst the students of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. So he came from Misra to Baghdad to learn adab from Al-Imam Ahmad. He says when he was living after 15 years with Imam Ahmad, he says Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal did not mention one hadith except that I know it. He didn't mention any new thing that I don't know. And yet he was with him for 15 years. What was he learning? Adab. Eko. Afan keko eko. Àwọn ọmọ kéwà akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ mọ́ kò sí ládàbí mọ́. Yeah, kò sí ládàbí. Sẹ́yìn ọmọ kéwà, you see Tọ́lí ọmọ kéwà, he put his cap like this, he start moving on the road like this. La. When Allah was describing Ibadur-Rahman, what was the first thing he mentioned about them? Alladhina yamshuna ala al-ardi hawna. Even the way you walk speaks volumes of you. Volumes. So Amake will start put cap. Our brothers wear big longer cap now. They start doing like this. You see, they throw their yes. Somebody went to the Prophet Muhammad. Al-Imām At-Tirmidhi mentioned this hadith in his book Ash-Shamā'il Al-Muhammadiyah. The Prophet was seated somewhere and it was hot one day. So he untied his first button. Don't say, we can't lose our button. It was hot. He was seated somewhere. He released the button. Alayhi salatu wassalam. But somebody is walking on the road. The jalabia is wearing, the buttons are up to here.
He's going like that with cap on his head. He's carrying one Quran, one book of Nahu, and Sarfu. He's going like this. They will think that he's a madman. This is not from the symbols of Ibadah. Omakeu is the first person that should be in the first front of people of Adab. So in the past, they used to learn Adab. Adab, Ladabi. One man called any killer here. Allah says, وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِبْنِهِ. Ai draw it from there. When Luqman was telling his son, so you can't just grow with adab or adab. You learn it. So Luqman taught his son, Ya bunayya, la tushrik billah, inna shirka la dhulmun adhim. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهَنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ وفصاله في عامين عن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما إلي مرجعكم فأنبئكم. Like that. So يا بني إنها إن تك مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي بها الله. He says يا بني. What did he say about talking to people? La tamshi fil ardi marha. He says, even lower your gaze. Go to Surah to Luqman. Full of Adam. The Baba was teaching his son, my son, don't do this, don't do this, don't do like this, don't move like this, don't raise your shoulder to people. When you talk to people, talk to them well. They are the most rude these days. Fallible in, he's just learning how and surf. Tajweed. Qalqala to Sugra. And that is the arrogance. Al-Imām Ahmad ibn Salih, the point I'm trying to say is, if you are not well grounded in the science of hadith, don't say you are a learned person. Don't say you have not arrived. You are still just coming. So this Imam Ahmad ibn Salih, he's saying that for 15 years, Al-Imam Ahmad did not say anything that I did not know. Is proof of his status in terms of knowledge. That's where I'm going. One of his teachers was Al-Imām Qalūn. Before him, Warsh. Al-Imam Warsh. Both of them were students of Imam Nāfi. Not Nāfi, fortunately. Nāfi of Qira'atul Quran was the Shaykh of Imam Malik in Quran. So when they ask Imam Malik, know this one too. When they take Masail Qira'ah in Quran, should I say إذا جاءك المنافقون جاء. How many times, how many drawings should I give it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you ask Malik this kind of question, you say go and meet Nafi. Don't ask me. And when they ask Nafi, who was the chief Qari at the time in Medina, Nafi Qurra, the Nafi of the scholars of recital, because there is also an Imam Nafi, the scholar of hadith and fiqh, also in Medina. 2 Nafis. And the 2 of them are from the teachers of Al-Imam Malik in Medina. So when they say, oh, how do you pray? Nafi say, go and ask Malik. In fact, amongst ulama, there is a general statement. La yufti fil Medina. Wa Malikun hadirun. Nobody should give fatwa in Medina when Malik is present. No fatwa, no question, no answering any question. When Imam Malik is in Medina, nobody should talk. Imam Malik was not amongst the A'imma of Qira'ah. Imam Malik was not amongst the A'imma of Qira'ah. So everything has its own place. This one, I've been to Ebesh, it has its own way. No matter how good a pharmacist is, he cannot replace a medical doctor. No matter how good. This pharmacy. Once he gives you medicine, okay, let him take cesarean section of a woman delivering. What will happen? Okay, pharmacy is far. Nurse, trained nurse, can she take the place of a doctor? You will know that one when doctors go on strike in Nigerian hospitals. You will know the difference between a doctor and a matron that time. If they are both in the hospital, this one is making a go to the other one. Don't worry, let the doctors go on strike. We will know who owns the hospital. We will know who patients are looking for inside the hospital. The patient came to see us. Doctor. Nurse. Oh, sorry. Oh. I'm in trouble. Okay, we turn the table. Doctors don't do what nurses do. Yes, they can't operate the hospital alone. Who will sterilize their equipment for them? Who? The doctor? Who will prepare the theater for them? Nurse. Inside the theater itself, there are assistants that the nurses provide for the doctors, like the injections. They help them prepare the mixtures. They bring it to them. They bring the pants. They know what they want. They present everything to them when they want. I'm just trying to say that everything has its place. So what I mean to say by that is that hadith is authentic. The hadith of Ibn Abbas that says that if a man cohabits with his wife, he should give a sadaqah, nisfu dinar or dinar. Dinar or nisfu dinar. For us to now be able to say it will be about how much. Let's take example from zakah. Zakah dinar now is based on 20 dinars. And the way our naira is now, it will not be less than 700,000 to 800,000 naira for 20 dinars. So if you take 20 dinars, let's say it is 800,000 naira. How much will 1 dinar be? Mathematicians. 20 dinars is equal to 800,000 naira. 1 dinar will be equal to what? 40,000 naira. So a man who cohabits with his wife when she's menstruating, otidara ogumeji, what is ogumeji? Ogoji naira, 40,000 naira. He must use ogoji egberun. Àpò mélòó nù? Àpò ti pọ̀ o. Àpò gbogbo àpò ayé. So a man who is guilty of that is guilty of how much? 40,000 naira. Or how much? 20,000. Ulama say that will depend on what he has at that time. If he has 40,000, how much will we collect from him? 40,000. If he only has, me, I'm only a teacher, I'm teaching Islamic college, so yeah, bring 20,000. So when he collects that salary for that month, he has 20,000 naira salary to do. Let him do it again next month. So the point is that hadith, Allah sahih, is sahih. The correct view is that hadith is authentic. And it says the man will pay either 1 dinar or nisfu dinar. By estimation, it will be around what we have said, inshallah. I hope that point is clear. Now, if a man now does that to his wife, force her, you know go agree, I know go agree, you know go agree, I know go agree, and then he forces her, will the woman also be guilty of paying that too? Ulama say no. She doesn't have to pay that. Even if it were in Ramadan. If a man cohabits with his wife in Ramadan, the woman doesn't have any blame. Do you know that? The woman will not. It is the man that will pay something. Either fast for 60 days, or feed 60 poor persons, or free a slave. This one must have a lot of money. The one who wants to do that in Ramadan. May Allah protect us. And after that, he will now fast one more fast in place. That ziyada is sahihah. Allah Sahih. That he will fast one fast, then 60 fast, meaning how many fast? 61. So if he wants to remove the 60, he can feed 60 poor persons or free a slave. And the food he will give them, it is not a kwati or leo. Normal food that an average man will eat and be satisfied. May Allah protect us. I think those two were the questions in that. The person said there's a text that if the man is in utmost need, there is no upnote. If you need an extra wife, marry a wife more. If you think this one no go do, marry another one. But if you marry that one, the two of them are menstruating on the same day. It happens. Even if there are four women can menstruate at the same period though. You don't know? Wala yunabbi'uka mislu khabir. Alaykum salam. Is it allowed? Women's question, please. Sorry, I'll call you. Is it allowed to call people to read Quran for someone, maybe to solve a particular problem? It's not allowed. You read it. If you ask me, what will you read? Read Fatiha, read Falak, read Nas. The only thing is that you will not believe it. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he spoke about Al-Falak and Nas, he says, Ma sa'ala sa'ilun bimithlihima. Falak ati Nas. It is not only to seek for Allah's protection, we also use it to ask for barakat from Allah. And it is one of the best means of asking for good things. Falak and Nas. Add Suratul Fatiha to it. So you don't need to call one afa. They'll be telling you, Mubinu. They are just lying. We did it when we were younger than this, far younger. They carry us, afa will carry us into. They say we read Yasin 1313. And we are ready. Unfortunately, that time, the number of Yasin that you read, that is the amount that they will pay you. So you read sufficiently enough. You don't need that one. Read Suratul Falak, read Suratul Nas, read Suratul Fatiha. Allah will solve your problem. If you don't know that one, be saying, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Be making salat and salam on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you finish, ask Allah for what you want. Allah will do it for you. You don't need Afar. Afar too has problems. You don't need Afar. Okay, look at. A lot of people are in Umrah. Umrah now is 350,000 naira. In fact, there is 300,000 naira. Here, in one Korea near us here. There is 300,000 naira. You have 300,000, you go to Umrah 2 weeks. You make tawaf. All the problem of your life, go and say it there. Okay. Some Afars come to you and say, oh, they will read the Quran for you 313 times. And each time is 1,000 naira. How much will you spend? Why not carry that 313,000 naira? Go to the house of Allah. Allah, labbaik Allahumma umratan. I have come to make umrah in your house. Does a person visit Allah without Allah listening to that person and answering his call? Allah will answer your call. Allah will answer your call. I was thinking about something like 2 days ago. I said some people who are in legal issues, they say they should be coming to court every day. Wallahi, if they have chance, they'll quickly run to Umrah and come back. I know them. Did you understand what I mean? Some people who have cases in court, the court said that they should be coming to court every day. If not for that, they will quickly run to Haram and make tawaf, say, Allah, I beg, remove me inside this problem that I am. They would have done so because they know the value. If they are giving Afale, they are giving them money. They are just giving them money. Oh, just me, let's rest. Those big men you are seeing up, they know the value of Umrah. I tell you, some of them, if you see them in Makkah, Medina, you will not know that they are the one. They will not wear a cloth for you to know that they are the ones. Wallahi, they will just sit down somewhere, cool. Be begging Allah, beg, please help me. So what about we? I know Yorubas don't think about this. Yorubas, our plan is build house. You want to build house. If you have 300,000, your family will be telling you, oh, awa lora le bye. Baba Yewande, they will start introducing you. He has cheap land there. At least buy one land, mold block. They will start giving you advices. They won't tell you what we make, because I tell you, take these words. If you spend 300,000 naira to make Umrah, when you come back, Allah will give you multiples. He will give you multiples. Make it harder. Make it harder. Don't be looking for affairs here and there. If you have money to spend, go to Umrah, go and solve your problem there. Go and beg Allah there. When people ask, what are you going to do there? Say, I want to go and beg Allah in the house of Allah. It's not common here. That's why I'm emphasizing it all the time that I have the opportunity like this. Don't look for Babalawo, go anywhere. Don't look for Afar. Don't look for anybody. Do it yourself. If you have money, go make Umrah. Allah will solve your problem. Don't look for any Afar anywhere. Afar has his own problem too. Afar has his own problem. Afar will say, don't worry, we will solve it. What of his own problem? His children are waiting for school fees. So they send them out of the school. He didn't pray that he should have money to pay school fees. You will carry your problem to the person who cannot pay the school fees of his children. He has his own problem. Inshallah, it will stop gradually in these communities. Alaykum salam. Women's question. Please, is istihada a moment? Is istihada a disease? If yes, is it curable? Then how? Istihada itself just means blood coming out of a woman that is not menstrual blood. It can be because a woman has fibroids. Go. If a woman has fibroids, she can bleed. If she has cysts in her womb or in any of her organs inside her, she can bleed. Anything can lead to istihada. It will mean that when you have istihada, go to and see doctor. Go. What do you call istihada gaga in English? Homocyst. Homocyst or what? Homohage. Homohage or what? Now? What? Menorrhagia. There are different forms. It's not every blood that comes from. Please make sure the point is in the Sharia that blood is not najasa. 1, 2. It does not also prevent a man from cohabiting with his wife. What if that blood is infectious? We will say the Sharia allows you basically, but it doesn't stop you from verifying. In our days now, a cautious person will be patient before he meets his wife if she's in istihada, if she's releasing blood. A woman's blood is coming from her, you just carry her like that to your house, to your bed, your wife. No. Make some, especially if the blood is looking somehow. But the look alone does not suffice, Abi. She should visit a doctor. Doctor say visit a doctor. Can a man meet his wife before the wife performs ghusl? Ulama say no. Perhaps we should add this to what we will discuss. Don't have something to do with the wife until she has finished her menstruation, she has seen the white discharge, and then she has had her ghusl. If there is no water for ghusl, tayammum is sufficient for her. Don't forget. If there is no water for ghusl, then tayammum is sufficient. Is it allowed after reading the whole Quran? Can the person kill chicken or anything for the people to eat? Even if you don't read Quran, you can kill chicken for people to eat. So why do you wait until you read Quran? But these things are not common with Yoruba people. I say it. Giving people food is one of the biggest ibadah we will perform to get into Al-Jannah. It'amun nas. My friend, my brother, come, let's come to our house. Come and eat today. If you do it today in Yoruba land, you do it tomorrow. They say you want to take Yorubas. Let's change it. In the north, it's a normal thing that you are eating with people in the north, with my in-laws. It's a normal thing. In fact, you can say, some people can say 20 years ago, since 20 years till today, I have never eaten alone. There are people who can say that look, brother, since 20 years to now, I have never eaten alone. They can say that. It's so common. Ordinary suya, when you buy suya, you don't want to eat. You say, Mala, Dala, Bismillah. You see people say Bismillah, Bismillah. It is Bismillah you will hear. Bismillah, Bismillah, everywhere, Bismillah. 6 months copper too is shaking his head. His copper in Kano 6 months ago. He's doing like this. Only Allah knows his experience. But here they'll say, oh, don't take it, oh, don't do this, oh. Don't. Why? Jahiliyyah is still left in the mind of people. We are the ones that will change those things. If we don't change it, who will change it? The woman that is selling gari in Ojoba, she's the one that will change it. So we must begin to change. We must discuss it too with them. Nobody knows where the arzak of anybody is except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only Allah alone knows. It's in far up above in the heaven there. Nobody can reach there. It says wafis samai rizqukum. Your arzak is far up there in the sky. Nobody can reach there. Not to talk of take it. Can somebody take something he cannot reach? So all this thinking, we should discuss it with people. They're taking his arizikyo. So the money that person should be having, it is the other person. Okay, a brother begins to do it. First week, second week, third week, he's just changing anytime. Say, brother, please come out. They went, they ate. And Allah begins to bless him. He was using one Nissan Altima or Volkswagen. They were pushing it. Push it. You say all the boys in the city, they will push it. They will run away. Say, ga, 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 you run away. When he starts feeding people, Allah begins to bless him. He changed that car to they will say, brothers. This is what? Jahiliyyah. This is what? Jahiliyyah. It's Jahiliyyah. In Yoruba land, you have a cap. You see that your brother likes it. You go inside the house, you pick another cap, you wear it. You say, my brother, take. He will not wear it, oh. He will say, I don't know the thing we put inside. I know an old man who is late now. May Allah forgive him. He sold one cloth, new cloth. He has a policy. If he sews his cloth himself. If he finished sewing that cloth after Zuhur, biiznillah, he will wear it to Asr. Do you understand? He's sewing his cloth. He finished sewing it after Zuhur. Be sure that Salatul Asri, he will wear that cloth. He will say he wants the first thing he will do with that cloth to be what? Salah. Wallahi. This man. May Allah forgive him. One day he wore a cloth like that. The man sweeping the mosque saw him. Say, Alaji, I like this cloth. He say, you like it? Say, okay. He just came back into the house. He removed the cloth. He packed the cloth in nylon bag and gave it to me. You go and give it to that man. We say, you just wear it. Say, oh, give it to him first. And the man, he was from Akwa Ibom at the time. He became a Muslim. If you see him, you would think that he's a Hausa man. But he's an Akwa Ibom at the time. He has died. May Allah forgive him too. This man, his job is to clean the masjid. Everywhere is in the masjid, sleeping. When you finish everything, you stand, old man. There was a day, may Allah forgive the man. He carried kegs of water. There was no keg in the masjid. Okada hit his leg and broke his leg into two. This old man was carrying water to the masjid. So he's just there. If people go, they see 10 naira, they give him, they see 5 naira. Nobody was paying him anything. Until somebody came to Port Harcourt who was PHRC DG at the time. He retired as the GED RMP at the headquarters of the NNPC. He's now at Dangote. May Allah forgive all of them. Good things to remember, inshallah. But let not all these thoughts that people have, let it not discourage us from doing what is good. Providing food, brother. You. This night, you will eat in my house. It doesn't mean you should kill a goat or chicken or anything. Just give them what you have, according to your ability. He says, and I will end with the verse. He says, لِيُنْفِقْ ذُو سَعْةٍ مِّن سَعْتِهِ وَمَنْ قُدِرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقُهُ فَلْيُنْفِقْ مِمَّا آتَاهُ اللَّهُ لِيُنْفِقْ ذُو سَعْةٍ مِّن سَعْتِهِ. The one who has, let him spend from the plentiful that he has. وَمَنْ قُدِرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقُهُ. But the person that Allah has made his risk to be small, فَلْيُنْفِقْ مِمَّا آتَاهُ اللَّهُ. Even from that small, spend according to it. What did he say? لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا مَا آتَاهَا. Allah has not brought anybody. So it means if you visit me, I can only accommodate and entertain you according to my ability. He says, سَيَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ بَعْدَ عُسْرٍ يُسْرًا. I don't get money. I don't do this. Allah said, don't worry. After this condition of difficulty, I will bring ease. If you can't spend much today, don't worry. Tomorrow you will spend much. But the one who has little, he didn't spend from that little. When he has much, will he be able to spend from it? May Allah make things easy for us. Bi-idhnillah, in our next class, we will discuss what a woman making haid cannot do, and those things that she can do, and the evidence for each of them. Bi-idhnillah, in our next class, we will mention them. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Amin.